Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar on Clever Go. My name's Simon from GTech and we're very pleased to welcome you to this webinar about how you can get the most out of Chromebooks in Key Stage 1, particularly when it comes to how do you solve that horrible problem of getting the children signed into the Chromebooks nice and easily. So we've got a nice group of experts today who are going to show the solution to this common problem. We've got Tara Jones from Clever Go, who's looking after the UK and Ireland, and she's going to talk about the Clever Go solution. And then we've got Steve Archer from New Longton All Saints, who's going to really talk about how it's impacted their school. And then I'll talk to you about how you can get started with Clever Go if you see the value in this particular solution. So over to you, Tara.
Thanks so much, Simon. Great intro. I like that you hit there straight away with the word solution. It's absolutely what we're all about at Clever Go, solving those problems in the classroom. I recently worked with a colleague and he was talking about digital headaches. And I think this is probably one of the biggest headaches for teachers and for our young learners. And that's getting logged in. So what's Clever Go? Who are we and what do we do? Clever Go have come up with a very simple solution to get our younger learners logged in to Chromebooks. We've seen this frustration play out in the classroom, and the biggie there, that last bullet point, what we're desperate to avoid is Chromebooks not being used. Awful experience of going into a school and there was a bank of Chromebooks kind of gathering dust in the corner. And I said, what's going on here? And the staff said, it's too tricky. Getting the children logged in, it's a huge nightmare for staff. So we have solved that problem. We know that our teachers want to be using EdTech. I found this statistic really interesting, that teachers can be spending up to 4 hours a week looking for those EdTech tools. They want to get their kids online using the fantastic resources out there, but we've got to solve this first problem, the first barrier to accessing all of that EdTech. So Clever you can see the image on the screen, and I've got my little Clever badge here too. This is going to replace the need for that long username and password. With the updates to keeping children safe in education, we know that our kids have to have that secure access. We can't continue to see this sort of class 1, cat 123 login system because it's not going to meet those guidelines for keeping our children safe. So instead, you could think of this like a sidecar or sitting on top of that username and password. It doesn't change the child's email address nor their password, but it replaces that need to use it to log in. And it's a one-click access. So I'd love to show you on a Chromebook, show don't tell. So I have one here. And when you've set up Clever Go within your Chromebook, your students will instead be met by a camera. Is that a little bit fuzzy, or can you see that? There you go. And it's simply a case of taking the badge and popping it in front of the camera, and you can get your children logged in straight away and through to the school portal. So they'll be able to see the apps, the learning resources that you've selected for those pupils. They're only seeing what they need to see. You can customize that with your school logo, and then of course they can go straight in. And the beauty of a Clever badge is we use Google single sign-on. So not only have we got our students into the device, once they've used their badge to log in, from that point, it's just clicking with single sign-on. There's still no need to reuse those email addresses and the technical passwords, but the safety remains the same. Now, I'm really pleased to be joined by Steve, because Steve's been on this journey with his school. I think you've had some very frustrated staff, particularly in Key Stage 1, and logging in was proving to be a real barrier. So Steve, if you could share with us what you've done, how you've turned that around, and I suppose, importantly, how Clever Go was a huge part of that journey.
Yeah, so just to give you a little bit of introduction as my role in the school I'm currently in, I started at New Longton in September 2022. And I joined the senior leadership team with really the main responsibility of trying to get the school to use more technology right across the curriculum. The school already had around 45 working Chromebooks, but it was very clear quite quickly that they were kind of just glorified search engines. They weren't being used for anything other than research and facts, or as thesauruses, things like that. So my job in my first year was, first of all, to get to grips to the Google Suite myself, using the Chromebooks in my classroom. And as the year progressed, I then did some staff training with the rest of the teachers in my school as to different ways we could use it to enhance the learning of our children. And very quickly, lots of the staff were on board. I showed them lots of clever ways that they could use it. And lots of the staff, I'm lucky to work with great teachers here. They were all very enthusiastic to use the Chromebooks, until it came to the point where the year 1 and 2 teachers in particular, they had this great idea how they wanted to use the technology. They got the Chromebook trolleys into the classroom, handed them all out, and then they've then got this 20-minute process of making sure everyone's typed in the password correctly, going around looking over the shoulders, checking that the children have typed it in right. Have they put caps lock on? Have they put caps lock off? Have they put a space at the start? So I'm sure many people listening to this might be able to relate to that kind of problem. And that was really holding back the staff, not because they didn't want to use them, just simply that if they had, let's say, a 45-minute session in geography and they wanted to use the Chromebooks, nearly half of that session would be used just signing the children on, never mind getting them onto the right software. So we even joked about at the time, there must be an easy way to get these children signed in. And so as we went through the year, they did try the best. They had challenges where they were trying to get the children to log on as quickly as they can. And I think the year 1 teacher came to be really excited. We all got on in under 10 minutes, which really, says the fact that they were pleased to get on in under 10 minutes highlights the problem that we had. So it was actually the start of this year, in September, when I saw a video from Simon Hunt on Facebook, which shared these Clever Go badges, which very simply looked like a child was holding up a QR code type badge, and they were in straight away with that magical ding you could hear. And straight away I texted the year 1 and 2 teacher and said, I think we've got a solution to using the Chromebooks here. So then I signed up for the free trial, and from there, the story's been a real success story in year 1 and year 2 in particular.
Thank you so much, Steve. And you mentioned something there that I think is important just to come back to. You talked about 45 Chromebooks across the school. And perhaps one benefit that some schools don't realise, when you do have shared devices, I just showed you how quickly I can log on with a Chromebook. If I close that lid, I'm logged out, and I can pass that Chromebook along to the next student who can use their badge and go straight into their unique login. And where we do have shared devices, that's been a real time saver in schools as well, rather than I finish, next student logging in. So it's all about saving time. And I've been using your video actually, Steve, regularly to showcase exactly how quickly we can see the impact of logging in. So is it okay if I share that now?
Of course, yeah. So this video is, it starts in year 2, where the whole class is logging on at the start of their computing session. And then there's a couple of clips from year 1 as well, just to give that a bit of context.
It's important. These are year 1 children logging in seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To log into your Chromebook. So hold your QR code into your camera. And log in.
We were all smiling then when that video was playing, and I think that's testament, because it's solving a problem, and that's what we want to do, don't we? It's solutions for schools.
Yeah, so from that point, I mean, that was one of the first times that the teachers had used that in the video. You could see there that it was still just little bits of paper the year 2 teacher had been using. What I tried to do with the year 1 and 2 teachers in particular is trying to give them ownership of how they wanted to use their badges. So for example, in year 1, you might have seen straight away the teacher, they've got little trays under the desk. So they had a laminated piece of paper with their QR code on, but also their login information, because hopefully as they get older, they will still use the typing method to log in. But if they want an instant access into the Chromebooks, this has obviously solved that problem. But the year 2 teacher is very creative as well. So I know she's got some plans for how she'll kind of put those onto like borders that the children might have designed, or whatever way she works best for her. So I've not tried to say you must use them like this. every classroom's different in your setup and your routine. So I've given that ownership to the year 1 and 2 teachers in particular, and they've, you know, really gone with that in their own unique ways.
Yeah, I've worked with the school. I've got an exercise book here, and they've actually put them in the back of the English books, because of course they're kept in school on site. The teacher collects them up, and that again is ease of access. Lots of schools using lanyards, but I do love it when the kids take some ownership and design their own badges, and they know that it's theirs, and they kind of feel proud. And they always feel proud of that little ding, the login. That's the magic moment, isn't it, in the classroom? Okay, Steve, you'll have to explain this one. We've not lost the plot. There is a lovely story behind how creative your staff have got in Key Stage 1.
Yeah, so if we kind of fast forward our school's story a few months, we've been using the Clever Go badges since about October. So obviously we had the full term before Christmas, and then this term it's been great to see the Key Stage 1 staff have really started to be more creative with how they're using technology. Not just the computing lessons, but now across the curriculum. And that's really something that the Clever Go badges have opened up for them. You know, if I think back to last year, before we had the badges, they would do the computing and get them logged in, as much as a battle that was, because they knew they had to use them for the computing sessions. But the idea of them using in any other subjects, you know, it just wasn't happening, not out of them not wanting to do it, but just simply they knew they didn't have the time. So this is an example of the year 2 teacher who, you know, was very enthusiastic about using the Clever Go badges. She's now started to come to me with ideas of, well, I've got this idea in English. This is the example of the video you're about to see. They've been doing lots of research on owls. So they've been doing non-chronological reports using facts about owls. So they've still done the writing in English. That's still been in their English book. But then as an extra added enhancement of that lesson, she's then used Canva, which we use right across our school. And the video feature on Canva is fantastic. It's really child friendly. And once I'd shown her how to use it, she'd had a little play around it as well. So she was confident. The children could then go on to Canva and simply using their facts that they'd got in their English book, they would select an image of an owl, or you can see they can even select videos on Canva as well. And then they've made this little slideshow, and they simply record using the microphone feature the facts that they've got in their book. So for some of these children, in particular in the year 2 class, it's, you know, building that self-confidence of them reading out loud as well, and for them to see their writing turned into, you know, this really professional looking video in a matter of minutes. Really, it didn't take them long to do it at all. I think that's really opened up the year 2 teachers' eyes to, oh, well, I could use it in this lesson or this lesson. Without the Clever Go badges, you know, that would never have happened last year because of simply the time it took to get them in. So yeah, should we have a look at the video?
Let's.
There are more than 155 kinds of owls. An owl's feathers have patterns on them. Owls are very fluffy. Most owls hunt in the night. Many owls eat insects.
No, I just love to see that, because we've gone beyond sort of that statutory computing curriculum, and that's far beyond what we would have expected for students of that age from where they were. But you can sense their pride in their work and what they've created, but also I suppose the professional development of your year 2 teacher as well. A little bit of time with you looking at Canva and then being able to create that with the students, it's just ace. So thank you for sharing that.
No, that's okay. So yeah, since then I've particularly with the Key Stage 1 staff, all the staff in the school, I do a lot of staff training on different software they can use. But now it kind of feels like they're more part of these staff meetings, because they can think, oh, well, yeah, we can do that now because it's only taken 10 seconds to get them logged in. So Canva is obviously one that we've seen there with the videos, but they can create information posters. The staff are using templates that they can use for drag and drop activities as well, which they may have previously done just as a cutting and sticking activity. There's still room for that, of course, in their lessons, but this just gives it a different dimension to their lessons. They can do similar things on Google Slides. The year 1s have been using Paint.app. They've been making some robots the other week to link in with their topic. So that's a really good one to get them using the trackpad as well on the Chromebooks. So it's building up these skills, not just in computing, but across the curriculum. And these badges have really opened that up to these children and the staff. You've got dance mat typing there, which lots of people will be aware of. So as well as using the badges, we're also now able to practice the typing, not just practicing typing in their login details. We can bypass that bit and actually do some proper typing practice, which is really important. And you can see there as well with the, their geography and history lessons in particular, there's some fantastic resources there now. They can now access really quickly the arts and culture facility on the Google software, which they can now access within seconds.
Yeah. And all available and all free, and just great tools that are out there that we want to see being used lower down the school. There's great stuff that can be happening for our year 1 and year 2 children.
That's amazing. What a powerful story. Thanks so much indeed for sharing it, Stephen. And what really resonates with me is that it then just opens up the ability for technology to start to be used. Those barriers, removing those barriers and those digital headaches, within the classroom. I just wanted to share this particular piece of research that has just taken place by Forrester, and it's a really powerful statistic that by implementing Chromebooks in the school, versus other technologies that are available, then you get an ROI return of 229%. So anything that can pave the way for Chromebooks to be useful and be adopted within the school is certainly got my vote anyway. So this is well worth looking at this particular report. Feel free to reach out to us at GTech on the email address I'm going to throw up in a minute, and happy to talk to you about any aspects of Chromebooks and Google Workspace for Education within your school, and how you can get the most out of them and use them to the fullest. So Clever Go, amazing solution. Thank you so much for presenting today. What we'd really love you to do now, our lovely schools, is to reach out to us and start a 60-day trial. We're really confident that through that 60-day trial, that you'll see the amazing advantages and removal of those digital headaches that you'll get. So drop us an email on team@gtecheducation.com, and we'll happily talk you through how to get started with Clever Go. In addition to that, if you don't already know GTech, we're the UK's largest provider of Chromebooks. We're also Google's largest education partner in the UK. We're a Google certified professional development partner. So any aspects of supporting you with Google Workspace, with Chromebooks, and with Clever Go, please do feel free to reach out, and we'd love to support you on that journey. So that's us. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will look forward to getting you started soon with the amazing solution of Clever Go, and getting Chromebooks up and running and useful within your Key Stage 1 classrooms. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.